There's a really specific energy coming in, and it feels like a part of the collective that has reached this point of being very, very, very ready for the new, but it's not quite showing up yet. And it feels like the things that are coming around are connected to the past or the old energies or connections or experiences. And a couple things are happening within this where it's the opportunity to close those loops, clean up those contracts, and also embody into the version of who you are now through that process. But there's also enough of you that have embodied enough that the old things that you were working on might still be like being in process, but it's not where a majority of your attention is going to be focused as we move into this next phase. So, as I say that, I want to pull some messages for those of you who are resonating with this energy. And let's see what support messages want to come through, where things might be heading, because there's also this sense that things on the other side of this over the next few years are going to look a lot different than what we've known. And that's part of what this limbo is. The things that used to work are no longer working. And the things that we knew how to do are not really going to be the new way as we move into it. But this also simultaneously does not mean that your skills will not be needed as we move into the new. There's just another layer of reframing that we're going through. And as I'm saying that, it feels important to really go into this with a beginner's mind, taking all of the wisdom that you do have, but simultaneously just being open to let whatever parts of it are no longer necessary to be dissolved out. And at the same time, being willing to hold on to what actually is aligned for you. And then there's also this part where you may be retrieving skills that you used in the past that are going to actually be coming forward with you. And as soon as I'm saying that, that's connecting to the uncensored messages that were coming in yesterday. I did like a little series. I did a feminine video, and then there was a collective message that I did here on YouTube, and then I did the masculine message over on my member area. And the whole thing was just like this connected energy that we as human beings that are going through this process may be experiencing because we hold all of those energies no matter how we identify. But I would say the biggest theme that is coming through is that parts of us that we may have even chosen to censor at one point so that we could grow is actually ready to be uncensored. And the masculines brought this through, but it's absolutely coming through in the feminine energies as well. So let's see where this heads. I have the Beyond Lemuria cards. And let's see where we're headed. Okay, three came out. Wow. Okay. New blueprints, sacral chakra, and gracious receptivity. Now, this is really fascinating because this is the energy that I've been receiving, especially in the last 24 hours, is that part of this shift over. And part of why we're needing to retrieve all of those parts of ourself, which for any of you, if you want to check in, that came in to the member video yesterday, connected to where the feminine and masculine, where they initiated one another, it's really about coming into that alignment with our full spectrum of our own energy. And then how, as we come into contact with others and their full spectrum, we co create in the new energies. But this new blueprints feels connected to where we're actually. This is the big move that I'm feeling and sensing, and I'm going to be talking more about coming up, but I'm going to touch on it here today, where we are moving out of the old trauma reincarnation loops, the karmic trauma loops that we've been entrapped in on our planet, and realigning with our true core soul blueprints. And it feels very new to us, or will feel new to us on this planet, but actually is the original blueprint that our soul has always been in touch with, but we have struggled to connect with that fully on our planet because of all of the layers that we've been buried under. And this is part of that transition that we have been in. And so we are sometimes feeling this limbo stage because we are clearing out of the old trauma blueprints and embodying into the true blueprints. And there's like this middle ground, right? Like where we're doing a bit of both. And this feels like where we are. Now, this part feels important with the sacral chakra, obviously being that birthing chakra, the creation center, and the gracious receptivity is really hitting in with where we're really um, wanting to give attention and focus to our feminine receptive energies and um, embodying into the sacral chakra, down into the roots, like we've been talking about. Like this right here is feeling like the root chakra, and where the solar and sacral and roots are all coming into a deeper, clearer, more embodied alignment. And what I'm feeling from this energy is like almost like as they click in, this feels like this energy right here, these spirals feel like the activation of the gracious receptivity. And it really starts within, right, my loves? It's like in order to be able to receive externally, it's like important that we allow ourselves to receive what we're needing internally. And now this is immediately connecting to the most recent video I did that was like an urgent message that came through yesterday. And it was for those of you who are strong warriors and warrioresses, but have found yourself feeling maybe caught in that limbo phase, and maybe even a bit scared to ask for help, or maybe feeling like it's a sign of weakness. But what is really coming through is that actually, when we allow ourselves to drop into gracious receptivity and we allow ourselves to receive the support that we need or want from others or another, it actually starts to rebuild that original blueprint, especially for the feminine energies to be able, again, this is regardless of how you identify, we all have those feminine and masculine energies. So allowing your system to actually receive from another that can hold you, that's in alignment with you, and actually has the capacity to support you, is a really deeply powerful signal to the universe that you are in that gracious receptivity, and that your system and your sacral chakra is ready to reconnect more deeply with those true blueprints and allowing your natural nature to embody more clearly and deeply. And this is actually connecting also deeply because I had a question about a week or so ago on the channel from a lovely viewer here that was expressing frustration around like, how am I supposed to embody into the new energies in connection if there's no one showing up that has the capacity to work with me and meet me in those energies? And this is actually a really, really common theme that is happening to many who are on this path right now. And of course, the goal is to fill our lives and our day to day and our physical world with connections, relationships, partnerships that have the capacity to meet with us in these energies and co create with us, right? But also, if our systems have never actually experienced that, it feels frustrating, right? But because it's like, how can I build it if I don't actually ever experience it? And this is where the bridging comes in. This is why that message to find someone to connect with. I'm here, of course, but it does not have to be me by any means. This is just about finding someone or even multiple people that you resonate with that can hold space with you. And it can be a half hour or an hour or, a couple times, a couple sessions, whatever it is. Okay. And if you have a friend or family that can do it with you, amazing. But I know that there are also many of you that are not finding that in your day-to-day physical world. And so I will encourage you to find someone that who has the capacity to hold with you, that you can connect with, because what that does, even if it's just for a short time, it's a very powerful activation to be witnessed and held with another in the physical world. Someone who has the capacity to witness you in your full spectrum actually helps to reignite and reopen those energies, those original blueprints, and actually gifting yourself, providing for yourself the experience, being willing to take responsibility to say, you know what, this is something that I know that I need, and it's not showing up in my world right now. So, in a tangible day to day way in my relationships. But are there people that do have the capacity, whether it's people, here on YouTube or people in your life or in the area where you live? Again, a therapist, a coach, an intuitive, um, just anyone who has been on this path, the similar path that you're on, again, that you feel comfortable and safe with, that you feel like you can open up to, is you showing the universe that you're willing to provide that interaction for yourself. And I can say this to you because this is something that I have done for myself, that I continue to do for myself, and that, well, I will also continue to do so in the future, as long as that is what is required to support me at my highest levels. You see what I mean? Yes, I have a very high capacity, but one of the biggest reasons I have that capacity is because I am committed to getting myself the support and the reciprocity when it is required or necessary for me to continue to grow and expand in my physical embodiment. So, this is something that I went through. I've gone through, so I understand it very, very deeply. And I also can attest to you that once I made that commitment to provide that interaction to myself, to allow myself to graciously receive support where I had blind spots or where I wasn't holding the codes yet, what that did was actually allow me to receive the codes so that I could move into my new creations and connect deeper with my own true blueprints. And each time we do that, we're receiving the gifts from another, we're activating our own gifts. And then when we share them out in the world, we're helping others to do the same things. And so, whatever and however that looks for you, to feel safe. It's also coming to me that it can feel safe to know, okay, I'm going to meet with this person for an hour. It's in a safe, sacred container, and it's this hour. I have made my energetic exchange, and it's a safe container that has an ending and a beginning, and it gives me what I need. And then I can go take those gifts and embody them and process them and run with them, and then decide how I want to move from there. This is what I do with a lot of people who come to me. Sometimes they'll ask Danielle, like, what do you suggest? And I suggest 98% of the time, let what we've done work. See how you feel, because this might be just that jumpstart that you needed to get everything moving in the direction you wanted to go. Sometimes people do want to come back sooner than later just because that is what is providing them momentum. But sometimes it's just a one and done and run, and people are off and running. And for me, there's really no attachment to it because my goal is to just show up here to be present and available in the world and trust that if there's something of benefit that you can receive from me, well, you're going to be here and you're going to know whether it's the messages that come through here or in a session or in my groups or whatever have you. And this is very deeply what the new energies are about. It's about this. It's really drawing me right now to the throat chakra and how she has the eye here and how here is the butterfly. It's like there's something with uncensoring the voice that uncensors the receptivity. And uncensoring the receptivity allows the voice to expand. So it feels very much so that there are a group of you. And I'm also getting some of you are already using your voice, but that your voice is ready to really activate to a new level. And there's something down in the lower chakras, the root and the sacral, that wants to open, that's also connected to your verbal communication expression. And as this opens within you, as you are uncensored, as you allow all of the parts of you to not only receive in aligned ways, but share and express in aligned ways with yourself for yourself. This is actually an activation and an opening to open up those next levels of the reciprocity in your physical world, in your physical experiences with others. So, yes, it may start with a coach or a session or an experience like that, a therapist. But what's really important is it's activating this gateway. It's giving you a safe, sacred space. And I don't know about you, but for me, there was times that I preferred actually paying for sessions than just talking to someone freely, because what that did is it freed up a space where I knew I wasn't overloading somebody, I wasn't overtaking the conversation, I didn't have to hold space for them. And not that that wasn't meant in a mean way. Like, I love holding space for people, but having my own sacred container to express, to share, and to allow my system to upgrade without needing to hold for someone else and actually being witnessed is exceedingly powerful. And I know for those of you who have been doing this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so if you've been feeling stuck in any form or any shape with communication, with connection, with relationships, with reciprocity, with creativity, with the next steps and stages of your embodiment, these are definitely some areas that I encourage you to look into. And if you're already doing it, then it may just be what I'm sensing is another expansion. I'm really, really, really feeling this throat chakra the blue energies very clearly. I'm getting like the heart, the high heart, the throat, and how it's a mirror point into the roots and the sacral and the solar. So, however, you all want to connect with that, this is what's coming through right now. All right. Is there anything else? I do feel like something else wants to come through. Okay, actually, this is interesting, but I'm going to go into the tradition part. It feels like this original core soul energetic blueprint needing space to realign, reactivate, be remembered, reopened is like already in process. In fact, just through this video, some of you may feel the activation occurring already just through this conversation. That's what I'm feeling. And it does feel like there's going to be some opening into the physical world with this in a different way. Like it feels like that opening, that bridge to the relationships, the reciprocity. It's like the gracious receptivity is what begins the reciprocity retrieval. You know, it's like what opens up to the reciprocity. We have to actually be open to receiving to be able to be in the energies of reciprocity. And of course, trust is a very important part of this process. So, with the moon, as I'm speaking about trust, it feels like this may be where connecting into your system and just into the roots, into that survival part of ourselves where it's like this is what's feeling. I'm feeling an energy of silence. It's like I can't even access the words. And that feels connected to a part of the human system that is wanting to build trust, but where trust has not been available is what's coming through. Or maybe where you once put trust and you were betrayed. So this rebuilding within yourself in a safe space feels really important, especially if like your family or friends or people close to you, romantic relationships, people that you trusted were the people that you felt betrayed by. Again, this is about what they're showing me. They're reminding me of when I was in my PTSD therapy. And my therapist, one time I saw her out in a store and she acted like she did not know me. But I went up to her and said hello and greeted her and had a conversation with her. And she thanked me for coming to speak to her. But there was this energy where there was no way she was going to divulge that we had any form of a relationship. And it was clear that she was protecting that confidentiality. And there's something about that level of safety. Yes, we want that all of the time with the closest people to us, right? But again, sometimes when we haven't had that safety or where we have felt betrayed, it's really important to just reactivate the capacity to trust another human being and to feel safe with other human beings, even if it only starts with one. And I do have a session, I think I did about a year ago, called Trust and Reciprocity. That's already over on my website if any of you in the web store if any of you want to touch in with that. But this does feel like building deeper trust with yourself, trusting yourself to know that you have your back and that it's okay to start opening up and to receive and to open to reciprocity because you know that you have your own back. And if something comes up that doesn't feel right, you know you're going to protect and take care of yourself. And so you've grown a lot and things are a lot different. And if for some reason you're not trusting yourself, or you're uncertain about your capacity to protect yourself, then my loves, this is an area that feels really, really important because you want to shore up self betrayal. Okay. You want to make sure you feel like you know you have your back. You know you put yourself and your safety first, and that you won't ever betray yourself again. Okay. So these are some big topics, but I also know they're probably topics that you have worked on already to some degree. But remember, we're way down in those roots and that root embodiment of where the original fall was occurring. So we're hitting some of those pockets that are very old, ancient energies. Okay. But it's because you're ready to be uncensored, my loves. All of those gifts are ready to open, okay? As you are ready. It doesn't have to happen in one day, but let it happen in a way that feels like you can have a handle on those gifts and wield them in a way that feels supportive for you, okay? So I'm going to leave this there. You know where to find me. Everything will be in the pinned comment. Again, I cannot reiterate this enough. It does not have to be me. I really, really, truly, with every ounce of my heart, just want you to get the support that you deserve and that you're needing, if that is something that you're feeling would be supportive. All right, my loves. So take this and let it guide you. Let your heart, your roots, your higher self guide you to what is actually aligned and supportive for you. And I hope that this message just helped to know that there is and there are safe people out there, and that you have the capacity to connect and find them. Okay, my loves, that's it. Sending you so much love. You have a beautiful rest of your day or night, and I will see you soon. Take care. Much love. Peace.